Hey, Timothy Unkert here. In this video, I want to talk about my setup for writing. So, in this past week, I started a new blog. I have one of my domains, Unkert Media, and I decided to start using it. So, I set up a WordPress blog here and started writing some posts. And I've written 23 posts here. Some of them I've actually probably shared in the community tab. Um, so, I'm getting going on that. And within that week, I wrote, let's see, let me enlarge this a little bit so you can see it. So I wrote 31,907 words in a week. So that's a lot. So I want to go through the setup that I was using to do that. Now, whether I'm covering Vim in the blog or Emacs, I would switch between the two and write in that particular editor. But for the terminal here, so this is one of the files, the outputs. And what I did, let me quit out of here. What I did is I took, this is a post about fonts for the terminal. So the 20, I think best, yeah. So I would write a markdown document and then convert it with Pandoc, and then I would paste that into the WordPress editor for the code editor. So on the back end, if you go into it, and I go into posts here. So if I go to, let's see, if I take a look at this post, and if I just resize this because I made this pretty large. So, so here's the post. So if you go here, you can go to the code editor. And so I pasted in the HTML code. That was working pretty well, except there was one little issue when Pandoc switched it over. And in Pandoc, like for instance, if you do, an image, you're supposed to be able to do the alt text here, and then the path to the image here. But for whatever reason, it wasn't taking the alt text. And you can also put a title here. So you can do that with Markdown. And then when it converts, it should have the alt text. It wasn't doing that. So the other thing you can do with Markdown is just simply write in an image tag. You can write in HTML. So you see here, I'm writing in the image tags because I want the alt text to be there for the screen readers and so on. Okay, so this is the Groovebox theme here, and I'm using, so I went through a lot of the fonts, and I came across a font that I like pretty well for the terminal, which is Hermit. So I was using that, and that was working pretty good. The one issue with this is on a Chromebook, so this is running Debian Linux here. When I went to paste it, I would have to open up an app that was on the Chrome. So one of the things I would have to do, because it wouldn't paste from the terminal for whatever reason, so if I go to like the Linux files and I go to the blogs, and I just created this one, so I right click it and then I would go open with, and I could open with a Chrome app like Carrot is one of them. There's text. Emacs, even though that's running on the Debian Linux, that copied across fine for whatever reason. So some of the times I would open up Emacs to do it. Now other times when I was talking about Emacs in the blog, I would write on Emacs. So here's the Emacs theme that I'm using. It's a basic theme. I was going with the white theme here. And this is, I think I'm using Source Code Pro on this and Hermit in the terminal. So they do render it a little bit differently. I was doing org mode, but I downloaded Markdown mode because I wanted to be consistent across the board with those. I think I'm pretty good with my setup in that I'll be, writing in the alt tags here. That's the one thing I saw that was a little weird. And yeah, so I'm finding with the Vim key bindings that I'm able to write the fastest. So, 31,000 words in a week, that's a lot. So I had to be typing efficiently and moving around efficiently. So I was using the Vim key bindings. I'm going to continue to work on this setup. Right now, the plugins that I have for Vim are Goyo. So I can do like Goyo 110, You can do geometry with Goyo. So Goyo space 110 by 40. And you get this nice kind of center here. I'm not sure why it's not quite rendering with the video. The color's not quite rendering quite well, but it does seem to fade in nicely. And you can set how wide it is. So that's Vim. The other thing that I have with Vim, let me just quit out of here without saving. If I go into here and I go into the directory, let's get this a little bit larger. Let's clear it out. And okay. And if I cd into .vim/pack/plugins/start, I list this out. I've got this Vim markdown -markdown-toc. So what I can do with that, and that's a little bit of an advantage, is I can generate a table of contents anywhere I want within the document with just the command generate markdown toc all in caps. Okay. So the TOC is all in caps for table of contents. So what that looks like for a post is if we go here to the site, and this is the last one that I wrote. So you see here, I have this, is that it? No, that's not it. Sorry, this one. Okay, so for this one, yeah, I had a table of contents there, but I have my table of contents, so you should be able to jump around and see the different fonts. So if I want to look at Liberation Mono, or if I want to go back up here and, oh yeah, I'm using Hermit. So let's take a look at the Hermit font. So that table of contents is from that Vim plugin. Okay, with Emacs, what I can do with Pandoc is you can run a command. So let me show you what that command would be. So if I cd back into the home directory and I type pandoc, it's dash toc -s for standalone, and then the file name .markdown, say -o, and then the file name .html, hit enter. Obviously I don't have a file called file name.markdown, but that would output the HTML with the table of contents. So I'd copy basically the body of the document, what's inside the body, not the actual body tags, and paste that into WordPress. Okay, so that's what I'm doing with Emacs. I don't know if there's a plugin where I can create a markdown table of contents, or if that's in markdown mode. I haven't seen it yet. If it is, let me know in the comments. I'll save me some work. But with Emacs here, so I had Goyo with Vim. With Emacs, you can do the same thing with Olivetti mode. So Olivetti mode is very cool. And now the cool thing about this is I was doing the geometry for Goyo when I was running the command, and you can alter it, I think, with that as well. But I can do, let's see, it's Control C and then the curly braces. So this is the closing curly brace to make it wider. You have the opening curly brace to make it smaller. So you can adjust the size as you want, get it to your preferred size for your preferred writing style. Now, earlier in the day, I like Emacs light themes, so I use those for writing earlier in the day. And then later in the day, when it's dark out, if I'm writing, I like the terminal with Groovebox. It's a little bit better. If you guys have any tips for writing plugins for Vim or Emacs, please let me know in the comments. I'd be interested in trying to get it faster. One thing I found that was important to me was having a nice font, because it helped me get in that flow and that creative flow for writing, I guess. So yeah, so Hermit for the terminal, and Source Code Pro for Emacs for the GUI. They do render differently depending on where you are. Code was a contender as well. But anyways, so I hope you found this interesting and maybe a little bit you can relate. If you're writing a blog yourself and anyone uses these tools, let me know in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like, as it will help get out to more people. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that as well, as it will help the channel grow. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.